So if you guys don't remember, I talked about this, I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was talking about the UN Cybercrime Treaty, which is basically like the WHO pandemic treaty for all things digital. It has to do with trying to combat cybercrime, and that involves diving into the surveillance of people, getting as much information on people as they can, usurping laws in any way that they can to do it, as well as broadening the cross-border cooperation between countries when it comes to obtaining and holding digital information from what they have gathered from us. And so this thing is not good. Excuse me. Man, this thing is not good, but I'm not seeing anybody really talking about it. I'm not seeing anybody that's really bringing it up. So yeah, this is being put on by the UN Cybercrime Committee, which is actually connected to being run by the UN Ad Hoc Committee, which is about their drugs and crime division that they've got going on. And they've got their meeting, which is supposed to be the meeting. If everything goes right, they're going to vote and basically establish this thing coming up July 9th to August 9th. And so it's August 9th that this thing is going to have its vote. There's been a lot of, I guess in the past 2 weeks, there's been a lot of pushback from other countries and stuff regarding some of this stuff in some of the language in the document, but we'll see if it does pass or not. So this is coming up. And if you guys don't remember, this is the Cybersecurity Treaty that was drawn up by Russia in 2021. Yes, this was Russia that brought in this first draft that introduced this to the UN. It was voted on and agreed to. And then they gave themselves some time in order to etch out all the details of the draft before they do the final vote. So this is Russia's handy doing, which is, again, I always try to make the point. You know, everybody's out there saying, oh, well, Russia's against everything that they're trying to do when it comes to this stuff, but yet they've been leading the way with a lot of the cyber and digital and stuff like that, just like Cyber Polygon is going on again this year as well. So we went over the last time we talked about this, we went over some of the issues specifically regarding Article 24, which includes no mention of requiring prior judicial authorization for surveillance against a person or persons. So ultimately, this thing is basically allowing it. So they pretty much do the same thing now, at least here in the United States, where they have so many backdoor things that they can do to gain digital information on us without judicial review. But this is basically pushing a wide, broad, umbrella over all these countries to do the same thing that they're doing. There's also no requirement for transparency of surveillance technology, new surveillance laws, the location of this stuff, or even the practices that they use. So again, here in the United States, we're pretty much used to this. Again, we got all the stuff laid out that they can do all this stuff without any notification or anything like that. But again, this is more of a broad, centralized document for this, which means there's no need to tell us anything regarding what technology they're using, how they're looking into our stuff, what they're looking into, if they pass any more laws locally or on the UN scale regarding it. They don't have to inform us of this stuff, as well as any of the practices. And on top of that, in Article 24 of this thing, there's no requirement of notification of surveillance to anyone that they choose to watch. So that means it's just free reign. They could be specifically looking into us for something that they think that we're doing, do it for an extended period of time, and then stop doing it, and they would not need to notify us before, during, or after. They can just do whatever they want with it. So that is all in there. We covered that the last time we talked about this. Now, there's a revised version that came out. I think it was June 14th. I believe it was June 14th. That came out regarding the broadening of the definition of electronic data. And this is where things get dangerous and open it up for what we know is coming in the future. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of this stuff. And we've got United Nations. Again, this is the ad hoc committee, July 29th to August 9th. It's going to be in New York that this is coming up. So it's just right around the corner. You can see that they've got the official announcement, revised draft resolution right there. That's not the actual draft. We'll take a look at some of the pieces of that in just a second. But we can see that this announcement has taken place. We understand that the United States is fully involved and in this. This is straight from the U.S. Department of State from June 27th. Deborah McCartney, who's the Senior Advisor, Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, is fully involved with this UN Cybercrime Treaty negotiation to get it done. And if that's not enough for you, at the latest meeting that they just had, you will see that the Vatican is represented and is involved with negotiations as well. You may not be able to see his little sign there, but that is the Holy See. So that is the representative for the Vatican that is involved with these negotiations on this. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of the definitions for this. Article 2. For the purpose of this thing, what we want to do is we've got A here that says information and communications technology system, which has to do with a program to gather, stores, or perform automatic processing of electronic data, usually with communications, cell phones, texts, phone calls, all that stuff. Anything digital falls under their information and communications, but it's electronic data. That's the big one. Electronic data in their definition. So anytime in this document, if you want to go and read it, it's a long process, but if you want to go and read it, anytime it says electronic data, it's just this broad definition that they give right here on this. And it says electronic data shall mean any representation of facts, information, or concepts in a form suitable for processing in an information and communications technology system, including a program suitable to cause an information and communications technology system to perform a function. What does that mean? Any data, facts, or information that is done through what they deem a communication system, your phone, specifically computers and stuff too, but your phone, everything that we do is through your phone now. Anything that goes through this falls in line with electronic data. So anything that goes through a phone system or a computer system that is digital falls under the category of what they're trying to do with this. And so if we go and we take a look at part of this here, this is Article 28. Search and seizure of stored electronic data. We just went over the definition of what that means. It says each party state shall adopt such legislative and other measures as may be necessary to empower its competent authorities to search or similarly access and an information and communications technology system, part of it, an electronic data store therein, an electronic data storage medium in which the electronic data sought may be stored. What this is that people don't realize is it's not just your phone. You know how in, say, Bitcoin, you can take it and store it on like a thumb drive, an external hard drive, or anything like that, which wouldn't be classified as a communications system. This is now covering that. For all the Bitcoin boys out there that said that this is the way to get around it, nope, UN's coming for you and your Bitcoin. Yeah, not good. And it also says each state party shall adopt such legislative and other measures. So that means anybody who signs on to this thing must adopt these measures, similar to what the WHO Pandemic Treaty says, may be necessary to ensure that where its authorities search or similarly access a specific information and communications technology system or a part of it of this article have grounds to believe that the electronic data sought are stored in other information and communications technology system or part of its territory, and such data are lawfully accessible form or available to an initial system. What does that mean? If they believe that this person is doing something nefarious on a digital system, but they may be storing it on somebody else's system, they now have the ability to go and access that person's stuff as well, because the believe that that first person is committing stuff and is storing things on that information. So this is now no longer just protecting our own stuff, but say you know somebody and they're accusing them, they can now backdoor into your system and get information that way too. They are doing everything that they possibly can. This also goes into establishing seize or similarly secure an information and communications technology system or part of it, or an electronic data storage medium, broad scale, make and retain copies of those electronic data in electronic form, maintain the integrity of the relevant stored electronic data, render inaccessible or remove those electronic data in access information and communications technology system. What does that mean? Well, the right, like here we have the right where you can't search my property under a certain thing. Well, that's out the window now. They can search anything digital that they feel, if they feel that you are committing some type of crime, a cybercrime or digital problem. And so this is just broad sweeping, just total annihilation of any digital privacy, and allows them to search, seize, and accuse you of doing anything regarding it. Even if it's offline, if it's on a digital system, it is now classified as electronic data, and they have access to it if they so choose. This is extremely dangerous. And this thing is just a couple weeks, if they so choose, to being put into place. And so this fits perfectly into this shift, the world shift right now to digital and biometric. Everything is going to digital and biometric. And so they need to have some type of centralized one world governance system of all things digital and biometric, similar to like how they have to have one central system for all health that they're trying to accomplish. This is the same thing, but for digital. Once your biometric details are uploaded, it now falls under the electronic data definition of this UN document. What does that mean? Any privacy for your medical records and stuff with a doctor, gone. It's gone. To a certain extent, medical officials would have to hold your information unless there was a specific warrant, judicial issued warrant for something that they believe it is. Well, now everything medical is stored on a computer. It's now electronic data. If they believe that you're doing something, they don't need that warrant anymore. They can just go and get it. So there is no privacy with your doctor anymore. This also falls in line with legal stuff as well. That falls under the line of, between a lawyer and a person. All legal stuff falls in line with this as well. It is all becoming electronic data that falls under the umbrella of this. So it can be seen, taken, and used against you if they deem that you are a criminal or some type of threat. This also covers all information in the area of communications, like text, image, video, everything that you do on your phone and stuff, as well as emerging technologies such as data involved in machine learning. So all information that is being used for artificial intelligence is now under this as well. Transaction records for finance, including blockchain networks and CBDCs, will all be a part of this as well. If they deem that you're doing some type of cybercrime, they can wipe your accounts without legal issue. And then, of course, smart device data. And this is not just, again, your phone and stuff. Smart device data allows them to collect information from your smart meters, your smart devices like your smart fridge, and everything like that. Your smart TVs, all content that you've watched and everything. Motion sensors, Ring doorbells, all of that falls in line as electronic data as well. And a lot of people might be thinking, well, why on earth would they need to have access to that? Because again, they have been building an entire digital twin system. And so allowing them access into this information allows them to look into what food you buy and what food you eat, what shows that you watch, learning which way you view things, whether it's political, religious, or anything in between, where you go doing with motion sensors and everything like that. All that data they now have access to as well. Welcome to the Internet of Things, guys. And now they're making this legal document to be able to protect them when it comes to all this information that they allow to do this. So this is beyond just watching what you do and say. This is learning every little detail and habit of your life. And this info can be used to learn and watch any detail about you, and then they can use it against you if they so choose. If they want to take you out in some type of way, take you down in some type of way, they can use all of this information against you in order to take you down. This will also transfer to virtual world data, allowing a universal cyber law system within a metaverse setting. What does that mean? Basically, this thing not only covers real life, but it also covers if you're doing anything in a virtual world. We understand that they're trying to move people into this metaverse, this virtual world system. I've done stuff on here where RAND and DARPA and all this stuff, they're trying to make it so this virtual world that they want to put people in not only will blend reality where people like psychologically won't even know if they're in a virtual world or a real world anymore. They're trying to develop that system, but also at the same time, they're trying to make it so the virtual world will affect real life events and real life will actually affect the virtual world, trying to create one virtual and real life world that works together. So whatever you do in the virtual world will actually have repercussions outside and stuff like that. So this document covers both. It covers both. It's future proof. They made it future proof. And what is also huge is the open-endedness of the technology advancement of it. We understand how fast technology is moving forward right now, how quickly all of this stuff is coming out. Basically, everything, once it comes out and is available, it'll automatically just slide underneath this umbrella. They won't need to update it. They don't need to specifically add anything to it. It'll automatically be covered. So if more invasive technology comes out, it will automatically fall into their surveillance, into the data, as well as the collection articles within the UN Cybercrime Treaty. So yeah, this is something, again, I mean, I can't find this anywhere. I think I've seen 2 places talking about this. And nobody has any idea what's going on with this. Nobody has any idea what's coming. If this thing passes, man, they just slid that under the radar and people have absolutely no idea about it. Keep in mind, that's in the document. They're not required to tell you. So I think this is something that they were planning on people not talking about, and it's coming up. So be watching July 29th through August 9th. They've got the meeting coming up. And we'll see if they're actually going to pass this thing.